Hey everyone, checking back in. We've got BTC, ETH, LTC, and XMR, which has had some nice action on the daily time frame recently. Well, actually on every time frame. So we'll start it off with Bitcoin. I'm going to start on the daily time frames, and what we see is healthy consolidation. The bulls are relieved that every time we do see these quick flush dumps, that they're bought up, and they're bought up with more vigor than I would normally anticipate. And again, what I'm going based off of is many years in the stock market and just watching how that kind of bounce would play out. It would only play out in a strong name, a name where the market is looking to buy every dip that it can. And actually what we've seen that in the stock world is the semiconductor sector, where you're looking at names like NVDA, MU, and AMD, which are the companies that provide the mining equipment to a lot of these miners. They have been doing this in the stock market, where every pullback, this sector in 2017 to this point has been one of the names that does get bought up with more vigor. So went a little off track there, but if you are interested, it's definitely worth checking out. Look at those charts, and you'll definitely be able to trade them the same way that you'll be able to trade cryptocurrency charts. So Bitcoin on the daily time frame, the pattern setting up is a potential cup and handle pattern, and the psychology of that pattern is when you have a breakout, you hit a resistance level and you pull back, and it's a nice rounded shape. We find a new level of support. We head back up to the recent high, and we are unable to break it. The right side of the cup has to be lower than the left side, because that's the psychology, a rejection and then consolidation in a healthy manner. And if you were to take this move apart, it would just really be a little bull flag here on the handle part, and then we see the breakout. Personally, I don't ever really make decisions based on this pattern where I'll say, oh, that shape could be a cup and handle pattern, I'm going to get in, because it doesn't play out enough for me to be confident in that kind of pattern. So I look for smaller signals on the shorter term time frames that would make me comfortable getting in. And if it's forming a cup and handle pattern, that's great, but that's not the reason I'm getting in. So the 4-hour time frame, this was a pattern I drew, and it's actually from the 1 hour, where this handle, that didn't really look like a good handle on the daily because I was using this hourly time frame, where we had all these support bounces and rejections from resistance, and the bulls made a break here this afternoon and broke the lower high pattern along with it. So the trend lines gave the heads up. The break of the lower high pattern showed that bull break, and now we're looking for higher lows and higher highs. And this is coming after that dump from last night, which again was a really nice buying opportunity, with the RSI on the hourly pretty oversold. And at this point, we have now bounced from 4,200 all the way back up to almost 4,400, a $200 move. And it's been like that every time we dump. So that's a good sign for the bulls. And I would expect a new all-time high test to come again somewhat in the near future. Whether or not we break it, couldn't say, but in terms of getting close up to that resistance, this 4-hour time frame is on the verge of a bullish MACD cross and looking good. So I will be scouting for high volume showing up that's going to tell me we're going to make a run here, because I obviously want to be a part of that. Right now I'm in ETH in a position. The daily time frame has been solid, nice, slow and steady. The bulls, I really have nothing to complain about in that regard. And that pattern I'm watching on the 4-hour time frame is a very clear uptrend support on this 4-hour time frame, going back all the way on August 19th, so a pretty long time on this level. And you can see just how many times we've touched it with no candlestick closing below it. And this dump last night hit right off of it. And poor ETH bulls, they get a lot of momentum, and then the correlation with Bitcoin picks up when volatility picks up and when volume picks up. And of course, that really just takes all the wind out of the bull's sail. And we are buying it back up with Bitcoin, but definitely a big setback. So we bounced right off that support, and the bulls are showing up here. We already have our bull MACD cross on the 4 hours, so that's not something that the bulls are looking for. But a bull break here on the hourly time frame. We had resistance at 344.72, 344.75, and 344.62. So that told me when we break that level, bulls are going to show up. So that was a nice bull break, and the position I'm currently in is one where my stop loss is below. It's this stop loss level. Nope, it's this one. So 343.37 is where I put my stop loss, and that's going to be a break-even trade. So worst case scenario, I break even, and I just take a step back and reanalyze things. So I love being in that position, because last time I was in a position like that was this breakout and ended up exiting at the 348, 349 level, and that's just because I was busy that night and I wanted to lock in those gains. I took half of it, and then I put a stop loss here that got triggered in the 348s. So looking for the same kind of play where I can just set it and forget it. And worst case scenario, I wake up and nothing changed. So bulls have some nice momentum. We're grinding against this 348 resistance right now. There's a battle at that level. After 348, we're looking at 350 and 352. And that 352 level is coming from all the way back here on June 21st. So there's not many days where we had a higher price than where we are approaching. So that's something to keep in mind. I'm counting about, less than 10 days than we've been at these levels before in the 350s. So the bulls definitely are closing in here as well. It's a much more steep of a climb than the Bitcoin all-time high levels are. But if Bitcoin hits new all-time highs, Ethereum's probably going to get fairly close, or keep closing in, I should say. So Litecoin was the star of the show yesterday for good reason, with big time continuation. And here on the daily time frame, we can see that we are forming it's not an inside bar because we did get a higher high here, but it's a consolidation candlestick where the bull and the bear battle is pretty even, judging by the size of the wicks. And it is a bearish reversal spinning top candlestick, but with the momentum we're seeing, I'm not anticipating that that's what we're going to see. This is the kind of setup where I would look at this and say, okay, that's a bearish reversal candlestick, but I need to zoom in and get more details because I know how strong we were trading yesterday. I watched a lot of that trading and made some flips myself, and definitely know that it was really strong. So not seeing the signals for the bears just yet. And we have the double top at the all-time high. Technically not a double top, but it's a less than a 0.1% difference off the top of my head, I think. So that's enough for me to consider that a double top. So I will be more cautious because of that. And the support is the low from the reaction to that at this point, which is $62. And that's coming into play a lot this afternoon, where we have bounced off of $60. We bounced 61.96, 62, and 62.11, 62.14. So the bulls are trying to defend that level, because if we break 62, I'm looking at 61.08 and then down to 60.26 as the next few levels. There's not a lot of support immediately under 62, and I would anticipate a lot of stop losses get triggered at that level. So I would be sitting here on the 15-minute time frame, and if I don't have a position, I'm patiently waiting and watching to see if we break 62, can we drop $1.50 real quick, and watch how oversold this 15-minute time frame gets, because we haven't hit oversold since this breakout. So that would definitely be an opportunity for an entry. And in that scenario, you could either flip it for the quick gains, or you could do what I'm doing in the sense of putting a break-even stop-loss level and see how high we can go and wake up overnight. And that's something I'm more prone to do. If I've had a good week or something, I will be more prone to let my winners ride a little bit longer and set those stop losses to keep me safe, but really just try and keep that momentum going after a good start to the week. So resistance on Litecoin in the mid 63, upper 63, but right now we have rejected from 62.83. There were a lot of rejections this afternoon from the 63.50s. We had 63.67, 63.50, 63.50. So those are the levels the bulls have to break. We can have a downtrend resistance line watching to see these lower highs. And essentially it's a descending triangle pattern. Not exact here, but we're bouncing off of a baseline of support right above 62, and we have lower highs, and we're getting tight. So this is a nice chart that I'm going to be watching on the 15-minute time frame now. So on to XMR. The daily chart is on fire. This is one of those altcoins where people see these blue sky bulls and they just jump right in. And I'm one of those traders where I don't have all the fundamental knowledge on all of these altcoins, but it doesn't matter. If you have the charts to guide you, you can just jump right in and ride a blue sky breakout and ride that hype. And that's what a lot of traders are doing. So we've seen very healthy consolidation. This volume is perfection with what you want to see in terms of increasing bull volume, or high bull volume, I should say, and then decreasing bear volume. You see every breakout compared to every consolidation doesn't really even compare. And this has been a really good signal for inside bars. So this inside bar breaks 138.98 and a new all-time high, and we're seeing another inside bar form on tight consolidation. So the 4-hour time frame, we can see higher low here at 125.33. That's an important level for me because that is a clear base of support and one of the more recent ones that we have formed. And we did have a little consolidation here over 135.73. And I like the lower consolidation as a more solid level because it was slower and steadier and touched a couple times, as opposed to this little quick pullback where we just hit right there. Resistance is 159.90, the all-time high. And the bulls certainly have been very strong. We don't even have a bull MACD cross here yet on the 4-hour. We pulled just back from one. So keep an eye on that as well. And you can look on the hourly time frame for an even more clear higher lows that the bulls want to maintain. Potential for a bearish reversal head and shoulders pattern just stands out right now that you need to be aware of. Whenever we've run this significantly, we always need to be cautious. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. If we were to come back down and break this neckline of support of 135.73, that could be the start of a more significant pullback. But again, this is the level for me in the short term for key support, 125.33. And we'll see if that can hold. So that's what we've got heading into tomorrow. And again, you certainly want to be cautious on a name that has seen such a significant run. In a 2-week breakout here, we're going, at this point, over 200%. So cautious, but definitely riding the momentum and not fighting that trend. So thanks again. We will see you soon. I'm still plugging away at that course, making a lot of good progress. I can see the light at the end of the tunnel, and it will be out as soon as we are ready, and looking forward to releasing that. I honestly feel it's going to be one of the most comprehensive cryptocurrency courses that are out there right now. So it makes me really excited to see the kind of feedback we do get, and looking forward to sharing it. So thanks again. See you soon.